Fire here. Welcome to another 2025 match. Today we are watching the reverse matchup between AndreZot and Spencer Wolfhard, which means that this time AndreZot is on the hunt, and Spencer Wolfhard will be doing his best to evade. I don't know why these two keep jumping ahead of schedule, which this is now the second time they surprised me. Although it was fortunately less of a surprise this time, but regardless, it has been a little annoying. But hey, sometimes you can't do things optimally when you are the audience. So, AndreZot has gone with the traditional Scotsword setup. Although it has gotten less and less traditional, I will mention, as you likely know by now. So Spencer Wolfhard is known to take a while on choosing his first location. He studies his hand of cards very carefully and then maps out a route that actually it's not traditional Scotsword. This is actually superhero. My bad. In any event, yeah, you have quite a few. He tends to map out a route that he plans to do in advance before he even chooses his starting location, and he has a tendency to do lair stratagem, which, if you don't know how to counter it, it is quite the devastating thing to play against, or at least can be. But if you do know how to deal with it, you can give Drac quite a difficult time. AndreZot, AndreZot is newer to the community. I think that he took part in the League of Dracula 2024. I don't recall if he made it. I don't think he made it into the league phase. But knockout phase, sorry. League phase is the first phase. I do, if I recall correctly, he began to make something of a comeback toward where he almost made it. But oh my. A knife and an RV. Okay, well, Dracula, watch out. There is guaranteed RV. This might also tempt Dracula in the event he started next to Mina or nearby Mina to jump on Mina since she's alone down here and just try to kill her over the course of several combats. It's a little bit difficult in the sense that it would be a little bit difficult to do since she has a knife. That is an excellent combat card. But that being said, he could do it by clawing her twice over various combats if he just keeps hounding after her. But honestly, since Spencer Wolfhard is more of a lair Dracula player, I think it unlikely he'll do that. If you were playing against, if AndreZot were playing against, say, Wakajic would, the thought would most likely at least occur to Wakajic, and he might choose to do so. But would he do it? I don't know. It would depend on whether he's even in this area at all. It's possible that Dracula is just way too far away to do anything about it. Yep, so the usual rigmarole in yeah, so just the usual rigmarole of just going through the first week, supplying, ticketing, and Spencer doing not doing the misdirect. As for whether he would misdirect it, if the hunters were to get Jonathan Harker or something along those lines, okay. Then maybe. But I seriously doubt that will happen. Okay. Right. Okay, rumoring his first encounter. Interesting. I mean, it's not all that unusual for people to, like, in general, for players to start with a rumored vampire. It has become a little less popular as of late, but like I think after the Immortal Invitational came out, it started to lose popularity a little bit but as the Immortal Invitational with the trail slaying first. Oh dear. So Valona and Suda and Goldam are the ones over there. So that is not good for Dracula, obviously. So, yeah, as of the end of the 7th round, these two players were both tied at 7 wins apiece. Precisely 50-50. Obviously, now that this is the second game, Spencer Wolfhart, who won the previous game, albeit it was very close, has a bit of a lead on AndreZot, but AndreZot is going to fight to get it back. I don't know whether I would put him above. He's definitely going to look to tie things up again, if nothing else. Me personally, because possibly going down or up one ranking could depend on me and Burkles, and since Spencer was the first player I played, he contributes to my meat and Burkles. I kind of want him to win, but that is as it's advantageous for me for people I have played to win games. I never played AndreZot this tournament. Okay, wolf form. Not all that surprising, especially since that's just before the rumor token. But as for how likely that is to mature, given that Goldaming and Stewart are not far away, and there's no hide card to protect it, I don't know. We've had some pretty reasonable things discarded, so it is. I would be surprised if they don't have this. If these two between the 3 cards per a day that they supply have not found one of the 4 stakes. Okay, so he was at Zagreb. Interesting. Well, that's definitely a good place to wolf form from, because you could be either going back into the east to return to your. And now he knows, like, now he knows that the first location is either Athens or Salonika. Now, I mean, I suppose Sofia is possible, especially if he wolf formed to Belgrade and is then now going to go to Bucharest. Belgrade or Klausenberg, both would serve the purpose. But then he could move back into he could move back into Sofia. Okay, so it is now delayed. All right. So personally, I would say as Dracula, I would I would say that he is semi comfortable now. Like for now, he's not happy that it's happened the way it has, but I was more likely than not. But neither is he super unhappy, because he can continue with his plan of laying down bigger stuff in the lairs and then moving to them to make them more dangerous. At least I would assume that that's what he's up to. Yeah, but the hunters definitely can't complain either. So if Seward does not have a horse, then he will not be able to get to Valona without using an event. Double dogs. Okay. Behind the veil. Okay, well, there goes an unnatural fog. That being said, we saw Mob, Spy, Reckless, and I don't recall what the last one was. Is that went like flashed by a little bit too fast? But the fact that he has Spy is pretty strong, especially over in the east, since there are so many small towns that you can put it in, making it so that the hunters cannot immediately resupply whatever item you just took away from them. They have to. Mob is a pretty reasonable card to like add to something as like say the finishing touch, you might say. To finish off a hunter, or make it, or at the very least make it so that they have to stay and heal for a day, day or two, maybe longer. I mean, Seward, it would at least be 1 day to heal 4, if he was down to 1. From Goldaming, I mean, if he's with Seward, then they would have to both stay there in order for Goldaming to be able to move the next reasonably within reason move the next day. Yeah, so I suspect that this lair that he's choosing a card to place at is either Sofia or Salonika. If it is Salonika, then we know that this card here, then we know it was wolf formed to Belgrade, then Sofia, then back to Salonika. That would be the only way he could get there in the first place. But now that he... But on the other hand, if he wolf formed to Klausenberg, or rather if the starting location is Sofia, it is possible for it to be Klausenberg and then Bucharest instead. I mean, Bucharest will be involved one way or the other, but that leaves one additional wolf form possibility. So therefore, it would be better-ish for Dracula if it were... Oh, but he did not return to the lair. Interesting. Even though it's face down, and so he might be able to lure them in by hiding there, and ambush them with 3. Oh, using... Okay, Mia also has a newspaper, which... Unless you're simply using that as a smokescreen, then... and her last card like a CG. I see no reason not to play that now. Well, I suppose you know what it is. So I suppose that's actually right. That'd be kind of just foolish. Seward, slow horse. So this means that Dracula may well get his wolf form back. And that means it would be to his advantage to ambush with whatever this is in Sarajevo. Oh, but it's renewed vigor, so he can still get there. But the fact that they've had to burn renewed vigor simply to get rid of this rumor token is very good for Dracula. Oh, he's at Paris. Okay. Well, now that is an interesting development. So that means that obviously he wolf formed over Munich. We'll try to figure out the exact trail later, but let's see. Let's see what happens in this fight. Will the Reckless score an influence point? Apparently yes. And then Helsing takes 2 damage. Yeah. So from Zagreb, he could wolf form to Zurich or Nuremberg, then go to Strasbourg, or in the event of Zurich, it could be Geneva. So, yeah, so Strasbourg, so it's either, so if it's Nuremberg, it has to be Strasbourg and then Paris, but if it's Zurich, it could be Geneva or Strasbourg, then Paris. So now the hunter's attention is kind of split. Obviously Mira wants to help with this Dracula fight, but on the other hand, like, the way that she was moving towards the east seemed to indicate to me that perhaps there was some sort of trade that needed doing, that meant, like, perhaps I would at a guess something to do with horses. That made it so that she would not want to do things that way. Okay, medicine knife, perfectly fine. Okay, fangs again into escape. Alright, so that's 2 points already for Spencer Wolfhart. But very recoverable. If he has Vampire Lair, he can just erase that. But, well, then Vampire Lair will have been burnt. So what now?
Well, hello.
Ah, hey, Jaro. Welcome in.
Good to be here.
Yeah, you seeing the game now, or?
I'm tuning in now.
All right. Yeah. So Spencer Wolfhart started. How about I tune you in after, or fill you in after the fight, shall we? We are currently.
Oh, we've got him in a big fight already, huh?
Yeah, Sunday week 1. With claws into Tamina's punch. Oh, that's very good for Dracula. I have a slight inclination to want Spencer to win, as since I played against him but not AndreZot, so, and Mina Berkholz is very close, tight up amongst people nearby me, so therefore I have a slight inclination to want Spencer to win. But okay, Van Helsing had planned ambush. Yeah, that's why he chose that. Okay, could easily be. I mean, this is where Van Helsing is still operating with the cards. There's no time for a trade. I can fill you in on that much. For him to trade with anyone, I mean, other than events, of course. This is a turn with renewed vigor. Mina's first reveal was a knife and that. We had perfect time newspaper on the rumor token in Valona.
Valona, all the way to Paris.
Yeah.
Wow, Jack's been moving.
Yeah, I had expected Spencer to loop back.
He's shooting him.
Considering that that's simply how Spencer tends to play.
Man's bristling with guns here.
Yeah, so he has both pistol and rifle. That's 2 of his cards that we know. Mina so far has only shown a knife. Don't know what her other stuff is.
Sometimes you don't want to get him in a fight too soon.
Yeah, the thing is that he had no idea Dracula was here,
Right.
as you can probably guess from the trail. Oh.
Oh no! That's not good.
Well played by AndreZot there. That being said, killing, killing Mina would. Oh, but now he can play knife.
Kill her now. Yeah.
I mean, in fact, this is GG for. I mean, he gets to kill Mina, but it's still GG because Van Helsing's here. Because Mina can play her knife, and Van Helsing can play her rifle. Neither is mesmerized. What can he do? Oh, there is Escape is Missed. There is Escape is Missed, which he does have. So, and there's no Aggie, so that doesn't kill him. Whew. No, but he gets away. And Mina will have to take a while to... But, I mean, this is still his opening trail, and that he has one lair that was his starting location.
Unfortunate he wasn't able to strength the knife.
Yeah, or any...
or even one of Van Helsing's guns.
Yeah. So it has the stake to deal with whatever this is. It was an aristocratic. So I guess by the fact that there was no ambush, and the fact that he walked on so intentionally, shall we say.
Yeah, nothing's dead.
Yeah, so...
What do you do now, Dracula?
So there's a newspaper reports... Mina has been ticketed moved by train to Bordeaux and then to Marseille. So I think she might have been trying to go to the east, possibly for horse reasons. Don't know for sure. So far, we have not seen a single horse field, barring Seward, who rolled slow. Fortunately, not a glue ticket for him.
So what do? You go to like 51 or 39?
Well, that depends. His trail before there has to be either Nuremberg, Strasbourg, Zurich, Strasbourg, or Zurich, Geneva. So one of Geneva and Zurich and Strasbourg, the hunters can know is unavailable to him.
I bet he went to like 15. That's what I would have done.
I think I would. It depends on whether he has the second fog. We saw behind the veil that sniped a fog, by the way. Another detail. So there's one fog left. At the time, he did not have the other one. But of course, you draw one right away. So yeah, makes sense that they would check that. So he also had a mob, a spy. I think that you play the spy, given the circumstances of the cards he had. Assuming that Reckless in Paris is the one that he had in hand at the time, because...
Maybe, but maybe they just reveal your hand, you know, and they accept the ticket loss, and then...
Entirely possible. Under these circumstances, I agree that is likely. Although Mina's still being within one claw range, and there being not as many events left, Great Strength is... I mean, as you can see, they're not even 25 cards into the deck yet. Due to how early this is, but...
Yeah, you don't have to be super worried about Van Helsing or Mina. The problem is that if Van Helsing jumps on you, Mina will come with him, and then you're cooked.
Yeah, it's Mina's... If Mina were to jump on him alone, though, that's a different matter. Okay,
Yeah,
so was Zurich, and that... So that is actually best case scenario for Dracula, as that means that the hunters still don't know for sure which one he came from to Paris.
Right. We still don't know about 51.
Versus 24. Yeah, I mean, they had already if AndreZot did the same reasoning I did, he would have been able to narrow it down to those two already. Simply due to number of roads, and yet still at Paris somehow. Okay, 15. He did not go there. Interesting. In that case, I would guess that it's simply the opposite of which one that he come from. And then.
Right. Is it 24 or is it 51?
Either that or he went to Le Havre just hoping that he could feed and then slip into the English Channel, then wolf from ashore.
Yeah, but like.
That is extremely risky, though. I will grant you.
Going to England at this point is pretty risky.
Oh, this would likely reveal it. It was Strasbourg. Yeah, that is bad. So it was Geneva then.
Because if you feed now to try to stand on top of your 2 encounters, then get you in a hurry on one.
Can they though? Because
well, they can get you in.
They've already spent a renewed vigor. Godalming is even with renewed vigor a challenging distance away, and has.
Dr. Seward and Mina would be enough at 5L, most likely. No,
Yes.
He's gonna do it. He's gonna feed.
Yes, but on the other hand,
If they drag you into a fight and you escape as a bat, you can clear the feed card. That'd be pretty cool right now.
yeah, and what's more, wolf form is about to mature, or the wolf form location is about to mature, so they do have that to worry about as well. Like if a hoax were to come up and you get unearthly swiftness, that could be huge.
So what do you do here? Do you move Dr. Seward in to Dracula?
It is a good question.
Looks like he's doing it.
And he knows that he at least only had one. Okay, the high cards are reckless, wanting to get damage in. So that means, do you move Mia in, or is Seward good enough on his own? That's the question.
5.
Yeah, so one hit.
Kinda risky. I think if Dr. Seward has holy bullets, you go for it.
Either that, obviously there is a possibility of heroic leap. Well done. He's trying to clear it so that Mina can step on here without it. But here's another reason why you don't hit up on Strasbourg right now. What if that's just a fake rumor token and it's a fog, or say the mob that you know that he had, and he rumored it, like, to make it seem more real, hoping you discover it later.
I mean, mob would be bad, but like I said, if it's round 1 and Mina plays a knife and she dies to a claws, that's okay if Dr. Seward has a gun.
Yes,
and if Dracula targets
granted.
Seward instead, well, then you hit him with the knife for 3 damage.
Very interesting. Punch, dodge. Yeah, the vamp. Spencer's figured out that Seward's looking to fight this thing, so Seward may end up taking extra damage. Possibly a tad more than would be he wanted. At a guess, however, if this is a double vamp and he's about to get ambushed by yet another thing, I don't know. Moving me in would then be definitely very risky. Regardless of what Seward has.
Yeah.
Like, let me see. Yeah, I mean, there aren't.
To fight 2 of them, that could be more.
It is noteworthy that there are no holy bullets in the discard. Okay, so he was content. He ended up being content, but I imagine since the Wolfhard is pretty content that this is still alive and can ambush Mina, or in the event since Van Helsing is like sense of emergency, or a horse that hasn't been revealed.
If Van Helsing can trade her an escape route, that'd be pretty good. Or if Van Helsing can get
Yeah.
a sense of emergency.
Yeah, the question is whether or not that would even be enough. At least for Mina, because one alone can do quite a bit. And keep in mind that, say, for instance, let us say hypothetically that in doing so he leaves himself open to 2 vampires, and he gets plotted on once in the process. Therefore, he would take 6 damage total, and then he would, if he targets Mina and she's vulnerable to a knife from one vampire, due to one vampire still being there, then he could take out 2 in 1, and that would be a full 6 points at this point at this stage.
Well, he didn't reveal any of his cards. He has 3 items.
Well, we know that
All depends
one is a horse. We know that much. We know that, as he did attempt a horse from Zagreb to Valona, but ended up having to use both actions to get there. But he was fortunate that he got played renewed vigor. Okay, yeah, he's sending in Seward on his own, by the looks of it. Either that or Van Helsing simply can't get there. And he's going there to get on the rear line where there is not a reckless vampire to ambush him.
I mean, being in 36 is okay, but I might have just applied. You could have pulled Sister Agatha or something like that.
Granted, it would have to be Aggie specifically for anything to really make any difference, because you wouldn't have, without renewed vigor, okay, yeah, he's having the Seward have at it alone.
It's gonna be a one-on-one.
Okay, given
I don't know about that. Like, you knew he was hiding, so why move in if you're not gonna commit more than 2?
yeah, if you're not going to commit more than 1, I agree that
Maybe it would have just been better to hold off. Because you knew he was hiding, you knew there were 2 encounters, you didn't know what they were.
I suppose what he's worried about is that as I pointed out, Zurich with the wolf form is about to slide off. So wolf form from Strasbourg is not exactly pleasant to have to hunt down.
Yeah, but you got a lot of time left.
Fangs into pistol. Alright, well, okay. Yeah, and there aren't any in the discard yet. So therefore, I would be expecting it. But no, apparently not. Yeah. Yeah, it seems that that's just possibly just buried in the draw pile.
So what's the other one? A heavenly host or a knife? Or a rifle?
I would guess it would be a rifle or a knife to have an anti-bat item. Because... Oh, got him.
Yep.
Bitten and...
Double fangs does it again.
Bitten and he healed net 2. That is definitely a victory for Spencer. And reduced Seward down to 1 HP. So this may sound ridiculous, but what if you were to Dark Hall? Anyone who wants to move in has to risk.
High reward.
Yeah. Anyone who wants to move in has to risk battle with 2 recklesses. And we do not even know if anyone else has the ability to move in, other than Mina. So
yeah, I mean, Dark Hall could be the move. I mean, it's tough to say. It's risky, but you know Dr. Stewart has a pistol, and that's it.
Pistol and horse, and yeah, that's it. That's everything he's got. So, admittedly, with the pistol, he is less vulnerable to claws. Granted, but I mean, you could easily catch him out. You could end up strengthening that pistol. Yeah, if you still had feed, I would say play it.
You could even maybe catch a punch or an escape and get 2 health back.
Mm-hmm.
With fangs.
Precisely. Yeah, Agging not having been in play for both those combats has played a crucial role.
Van Helsing could have just moved to 24. Dealt with that encounter.
Yeah. Going to Zurich, yeah. Protected by 3 encounters, which we know that there's no reckless vampires. He laid all 3 of those in a row. But there could well be new vampires.
Or other nasty surprises for low hit point hunters.
Oh, renewed vigor number
my
2.
Gosh.
Wow.
This is getting interesting. anything.
First, 21 cards of the deck, and he has both Renewed Vigors. Okay. Does Goldowing have a horse?
Have Dr. Seward heal. Send Lord Godalming in with the horse to try to tank some of the encounters.
Ah,
Oh,
good
he wants to
move,
see
good
what the
move.
encounters are.
Good move. I like that.
Rats.
Rats, bats, and a new vampire. Well, okay. Well, that means he has to be careful because that means that Dracula can pop. If he moves in with the first move, he can pop the bats and then immediately bat them out since they still have an action. That can serve as a more or less a wild horses. Except it does.
Bats.
Yeah,
Except
but
it looks like Stewart's not going to join in. He just healed.
I mean that makes sense. He was at 3 previously, and that wax cylinders took up 1 action. If you're gonna move in, you're definitely gonna have to heal before doing so. Okay, there goes 1 set of holy bullets, and also the second crucifix. So we're not having any Strider or puns there. At least in combat. Yeah, this has been very tense, high action game. Yeah, I think next turn you wolf form because Zurich is actually even worse to track than Strasbourg, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it's wolf form time.
If he's, it seems as if he's doing this for regrouping, but with wolf form having already come off the trail, I don't know. I can't say I like this. Oh, Van Helsing going in. Do we have a heroic leap, maybe?
Let's still leave him with 2 hit points.
Mila can get in with a chartered carriage, so it may not be alone.
She can get there with, yeah, you're right, with chartered carriage.
Yeah, she can go down to Marseille, then...
Have a horse, I take it.
I mean, if she has not shown it, and I imagine she would have. Yeah, this is...
Austin really gonna fight this alone?
I would hope not, because he's gonna... Keep in mind, he's gonna take another 2 damage from the rats. Oh.
Unless he uses Forewarned on the rats.
But would you really do that? I don't know. Okay, yeah, he's keeping the bats as, like... I mean, you can't move in and then trade, for instance. Oh, she does. Oh, but it's going to take all her movement to get there. And that means that she's going to have to step on either Geneva or Zurich and get ambushed by whatever's there.
Does she reveal a horse?
Yeah, just now, apparently.
Nice.
So that is extra bonus for Dracula. And she apparently does not have an item to remove the rats. Even though Van Helsing... Oh, he cleverly didn't ambush Van Helsing with them. So he's basically, targeting Mina. This is express target Mina. Does he move in now?
The old surprise horse. Clever little move.
I would just apply if I were Mina now. Yeah, and I definitely would have used the charter carriage for a guarantee get in. You're trying to go make the finishing... Okay, respectable. But the problem is that he knows that you have a pistol and a rifle. So, apart from Heavenly Host, after that he can just Mez and Fang all day.
If only Godalming could have gotten.
Okay. So if he has a Heavenly Host, we know there's no crucifixes, so it's either punch or a Heavenly Host. Punch. Alright, 1 damage, not the biggest deal. It still matters, to be sure, but... I mean, well, the thing is that has to be done separately. So, if
Oh yeah.
yeah, if you have heroic leap, I would have played it then and there.
Gotcha.
I would have played it now, so that even if he wolf forms away, he at least can't put to sea.
Right.
I mean, and he's got to deal with Paris. I mean, look at all the stuff. I mean, yeah, he'll destroy 2 reckless vampires, but he would get hide back. He get feedback. That's pretty good stuff. Oh, knife.
Oh, shucks. Should have punched him again.
Apparently so. Yeah, so now he has a knife. Apparently that changed. That's one thing that changed. So, on the assumption that he still has one of his guns. Rifle, yeah, makes sense.
One more damage.
Well, is it 1 or is it 4? Because we haven't seen what his last item is, have we?
Let's see what you did there.
He's already mezzed, so I suppose if he has double fangs, he does double fangs. Oh, except for this.
Van Helsing with the holy bullets the whole time.
Well, he must have found that very recently, because he did shoot him in the first combat and didn't have it then. Yeah, he didn't have it then, so he must have obtained those very recently.
Revenge of the old man and his guns. Now you play the knight.
Yeah,
Maybe Dracula see that coming.
I would be surprised if he didn't. Yeah, he'll strength to... Yeah, now he's burning the plotting, so... Ooh, this is... Yeah, this is very dangerous territory.
Now you play the knight.
Yeah, that way he can't bite Van Helsing and heal. And he can't...
Kill him too.
Not if he does escape his mist.
Yeah, that's his only out.
Yeah.
Use both the strengths and the mesmerizes wisely.
Yep, he has
Yeah,
it.
there it is. A very misty game.
Oh. Whoa.
Rifle.
Okay, in that case, he could have bitten him. And just healed 2 as a result. But,
Yeah, he had it.
yeah, perhaps he forgot he was mesmerized, and therefore that wouldn't have killed him if that had connected? Wow, this is a very rocky game.
Pretty crazy one, yeah. Back down to 2 again, Drac.
I mean,
Now you wolf form.
that being said, the hunters are not exactly in top shape either.
No.
I mean, Seward needs to get to a big city, but that means that, especially if he wolf forms east to some of his previous lairs.
Yeah, I mean, even at 1 hit point, if all you have is a pistol, it's not going to be easy to kill him.
Yeah,
Deliver the coup de grace here, AndreZot.
yeah, he's bound to, yeah. It's down to his last HP, but,
So where do you go? So grab?
as Dracula?
I think you definitely check Zagreb with Godalming. Either that or Prague, maybe.
Or Vienna, for that matter.
Yeah, you have to eliminate those.
I think that
'Cause if
most
you went
likely...
north towards Germany, like, that's fine. He can't escape to the sea. So if he wants to go to, like, Leipzig, that's fine.
My opinion is that Toulouse is likely the move.
Yeah, Spain would probably give him more time.
Okay.
Else.
I think that Dracula is perfectly fine with what's going on here, if it's what it looks like. Like an attempt to just deal with Strasbourg once and for all. I mean, that's the road token, yes, but there's still one sitting at Paris, so they'll give him feedback. And suddenly he's...
Maybe they just can't. Maybe they just can't really do anything about Paris, and he'd rather not lose the 7 points.
Yeah, definitely ambush with a hide one. I agree. Whether you ambush with both, questionable. There is still only the one stake that got actually used in the discard, so chances are high that he will have one, especially since we haven't seen any horsing from him. Yeah, Spencer is definitely... Oh, okay. Yeah, honestly, I disagree with that. You've seen all three knives. Yeah, I think he's seen all three knives. One on Mina, one on Van Helsing, and I think Seward had one. And unless no, Seward only has a pistol. So
It was probably a rough hand because you definitely want a fang there. It's the hide vampire anyway, so if it dies, you definitely want a fang in those moments.
yeah, okay, Mez into the dodge. So I would say you either Mez or plot here. He's going for fangs. Okay.
So good on me, so stay
Yeah.
right?
I mean, that's definitely what this is implying. However, he'll either have to wait a full day and possibly trade with Seward, or have a night fight if he has only one. Okay, Seward does have a horse, albeit so far he has only gotten slope rolls on both Mina and Seward's horse. So yeah. Yeah, I would. I said earlier that I would be going to Toulouse, and the reason for that is that's where if it does get checked quickly, it'll be checked by the people who go last, and therefore, the others might go AWOL, so to speak, for lack of a better term, somewhat, and give you a little bit of breathing space. I think that if it didn't give him back the feed, I think that Dracula might actually choose to layer this. Oh, he's gonna scan. Clever. Good move. I agree.
Yeah, you eliminate 15 and 54.
Yeah. Gulam does indeed have a stake, so he'll stake the real one. And now... But now he has this to deal with. And I honestly, simply getting in a clause would be worthwhile for Dracula.
Yeah. Better than nothing.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't... the ideal would obviously be a bite. Oh, wow, that's a very brave move on Goldong's part.
Try to catch the mesmerized, maybe.
Possibly. Or also the plotting, because Necklaces are becoming known to plot round one. Yeah. Okay. So his last card, so one of his two cards is a rifle. Good to know. But now, like, if the vampire has double fangs, I would just do fang at this point. If he has a knife, so be it. At least you get the information. Plot into escape. Yeah. That could have been a dud hand, but that felt a little intentional to me. Like trying to...
Maybe. I mean, after the second one,
So Gulam got out of that night fight without a scratch. Very good for the hunters.
Yeah. At least somebody's not beat up.
However, that means that all three of those cards that are about to get wiped, Dracula got value out of all of them. So now it's an easy choice whether you mature this or not. I, even if there wasn't feed to contend with, I.
Get your feedback. 54 points.
The question is, do you hide first? Did he scan?
I don't think so.
Huh. Interesting, because now he'll have if he puts down a location card, be it hide or just a locate or actually a move, which I think I would go with a move over a hide in this case, since you're wanting to make distance.
Yeah, psychic bond, you might as well.
I mean, they've now spent both RVs. That card is
You have another chance to psychic.
that RV is now just off the table for the hunters. I mean, it's cost Dracula quite a bit, to be sure, but it hasn't finished him off. Not yet. I suppose what Dracula wants most, and now Zurich, and in addition to everything else, Zurich still has that new vamp.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that
up to 11.
yeah.
And a bats and rats on it. So
Great. Okay, I would have supplied with Seward there. I seriously disagree with horsing there. Horsing around when Dracula knows exactly what your one remaining item, your one non-horse item is. And know that you have no mystery events. I seriously disagree with that.
Yeah, even if you did run into Dracula, he'd probably
Well,
hate
not necessarily. That's not true. Given that that's on that rail line, and Mia still has that charred carriage, so regardless what her ticket is, even if it's a glue ticket, she's trying to hold on to it. A 2-on-1 versus 5 health versus 4 health almost certainly will be enough to put the killing below.
He should have sent Dr. Seward.
Oh, hypnosis, that's what it is. Ah.
He should have sent Dr. Seward either to... He should have sent him to 36, and then Van Helsing could have traded blood transfusion off of him and given him some of his old man blood.
To do that, he would have had to traverse through Geneva, which at the time was unknown.
No, he was in Brussels. He could just take the train.
Oh, I see. I thought you were talking about back when he was at Strasbourg, but I definitely would have supplied.
From Brussels, you just train to 36. Van Helsing takes some blood transfusion off of you.
So,
Uses it at night.
yeah, despite the fact that they know his general whereabouts, in fact, they can narrow it down to either that or
Leipzig. Did he go to Frankfurt?
I would not be surprised. Especially with the vampire seeming in Paris being just untouched, Strasbourg about to come off the trail.
Well, he either wolf formed to
For-
Nuremberg or to Frankfurt, and then he moved to the other one where he played the Hyde card.
Well, let's remember that it's the wolf form that's in Germania, not as that was played while Feed was down.
Oh, right.
So,
Probably did go to Frankfurt.
yep, now we know. It's Frankfurt.
Strasbourg now?
Yep, he just doubled back.
That's a little too cute for my liking. I don't know.
What?
if I like that.
Why not? The hunters would have remembered Strasbourg was a hide and such after such an extensive activity. Okay, it's not a hide. That was the other option. I actually like the move personally.
That makes one of us. I mean,
For one thing, it gets you a.
he
It gets.
could be almost at the castle by now.
Granted, yes, but keep in mind that with the hypnosis, I'm not saying I particularly like the wolf one to Frankfurt, but I am saying that given the circumstances after that, I like Strasbourg as your choice. Since that just came off the board and the hunters might write it off as, oh, that's not possible, blah 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 blah, and so on.
Maybe, but at that point you're
Well,
I mean, think about it. Where's he gonna go now? That's my issue with it. Isn't so much that, like, yeah, it was sort of unexpected that he would go there, but now that they figure that out, what do you do?
that depends on what he put in his Geneva lair. We know that there's a rats plus one other card. So, is he gonna go step onto another triple lair? Perhaps? Or play a hide card? And with Zurich only a couple days away, I mean,
You let Zurich fall off the trail and move back to it again.
yeah, especially with the
Fifth encounter on it.
yeah, especially with the well, I'm not sure about to put a fourth or a fifth encounter on it, but I'm talking about the fact that a vampire would mature, getting feedback and wolf form yet again.
Yeah, but putting a fifth encounter on it would be pretty stylish. You gotta admit that.
I do not deny it. Did I ever? But in any event, what I'm saying about the Strasbourg lair is since they just use hypnosis and know that that your wolf form is in Frankfurt, will they check Frankfurt first? I mean, it's not, definitely a bit more out of the way, so they'll likely you check the places close to the ports. Yes. Because they would expect you to at least try to make some distance by sea. At a guess.
I don't know. Not if you're wolf forming from Zurich. I don't really see him wolf forming from Zurich in order to get to a port. Like, it seems more likely to me that he would have gone 54 or Zagreb or something like that. Try to make
Yes.
more land moves.
Yes, but I'm saying, we are talking about for the Strasbourg move. My is that the hunters had played hypnosis and called his move. We're not discussing the move to the wolf form to Frankfurt. We're discussing after the feed when they knew that it was in Germania and therefore was not going east. I still don't see that being a move towards the ports of the North Sea. I think that's a losing strategy. I think he's way better off trying to go to Prague or something like that. Or I mean, yes, but how would the hunters thinking
51
of it?
port, like 51, 24, 50,
Oh.
51 Paris.
Caught him. Yeah. I likely
Can Helsing take a train there?
possibly
Yeah.
depends on what tickets he's got.
Train.
I mean,
Nice there too.
we have, however, gone a good deal further through the deck now, so there is still fog, and if there is still one fog that could now be there, and considering that, as you identified, this is quite a risky play, I think he would do it.
I hope so, because I don't really agree with the Paris move. If you're gonna go to Strasbourg, I think you'd be better off going to 24.
Oh, it's not even. Oh, discarding a knife. What? Okay, well that actually tells him something, because since Van Helsing has shown a knife before, you know that Seward does not have one.
Maybe even Nuremberg.
Okay, so
All right, can we finish him off this time?
Seward has nothing but a pistol. We know that. So therefore, maximum damage per round for him is 2. I think that.
But
Oh.
has a knife,
Well, here's the interesting thing.
but you could mesmerize and
Ja-
fight Dr. Seward.
Yeah, and what's more, if that happens, that's not just finally that's game. Yeah, I think that if he went for mesmerize fangs on Seward. Oh wait, that's not. That's not game yet, but
I
however,
was worried about mesmerizing.
however, he can do pistol into pistol and knife now, if my recollection of what's Van Helsing, or even pistol and punch, and that's still enough. Even that would be a guaranteed kill at this stage. Yep.
He's got it.
Yep. So long as AndreZot realizes that fact. Yeah, I think that's...
Tricky play from Dracula.
Yeah.
Tricky, unexpected stuff.
Yeah,
Couldn't
that actually...
quite squeak out the escape.
Well, the thing is, had he Mez and then Fang Seward it, that would have been not only 4 points for a kill, because he's already bitten, but that would have been in another point for a bite, so that actually would have been game in Spencer's favor.
Yes, but
Yeah.
I don't think that the hunters would ever allow that. Not when Van Helsing has a rifle on night. He'll just
Grant-
kill you while you're focusing on Seward.
Granted, yes, as turned out to be the case, she will play both. So that's a...
There was some tricky stuff, but I think the correct move was to wolf form from Zurich. Like, going to Zurich was a stroke of genius, because it bought you more time, the hunters didn't want to jump onto you, you're able to get another vampire onto the trail with a bats to boot. Like, that was a really good move.
Yeah.
I think the wolf form needed to go to Zurich. And it's super obvious, yes, and that's a little unfortunate, and it's possible Godalming could just catch you and kill you. Sure, all those things are true. But I still think that would have been a more high percentage play than trying to do something extra tricky when you're already down like 4 hits.
Yeah, fair
Grab
enough,
to grab.
I
If you have
suppose.
the fog, put down the fog. If you don't, put down like a saboteur or something. Start like hoping that you can get another trail going. They'll get caught up to you.
Yeah, I would, if you have it, I would definitely prioritize soil.
Yeah, that too would have been nice.
Considering that one had gotten bitten and he had taken damage from another.
Maybe even like a damaging encounter if you really want to go that route. But
I think a spy might have been a
you
reasonable
only got
one.
so many hit points. Yeah, spy would have been good. I think saboteur would have been good. All the aristocratics were used. Otherwise, I'd say put down aristocratic. Maybe a mob, something like that. I mean, there were some options, but you want to start getting that trail built up again because they still have to deal with Zurich. Otherwise, you're up to 10 points.
11, actually.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Otherwise, you have to 11 points. And if they don't want to deal with Zurich, now you've got 11 points. You can, like, try to escape to Athens, get another feed going, go to see then. Maybe a soil gets used. Maybe you're lucky enough to get to the castle. Like, you have options at that point. But when you just go back to Strasbourg,
Yeah, Spencer loves his lairs a little too much.
you haven't separated
Yeah.
the hunters, you haven't forced them into like committing into different routes. They started bouncing back from being like really wounded. They started to bounce back from that.
Yeah,
It just gave them a lot of time.
it's the fact that he never got in a hunter kill is really what's costing the game. And I think the wolf won to Frankfurt. I think that was just wrong. But after the fact and like what to do next after they play the hypnosis, under those circumstances, I do agree with the Strasbourg move. Not necessarily the move to Paris after. Try to get them to horse over you, would have been my thoughts. And also, and also since it's not often like taken advantage of that it's connected to the rail line, possibly they might not think of chartered carriaging there. I think that I would have done hide under those circumstances rather than moving.
I do approve of the effort though to be really tricky and try to get the hunters to trip over their own shoelaces. It was definitely a good
Yeah.
effort there.
Yeah, a good attempt, but
Sometimes the tricky stuff is best left like either towards the beginning of the game or the very end of the game or whenever you're not at one hit point.
Yeah. I mean, thanks for joining me for the
Yeah, great time.
for the majority of it, and yeah, that was definitely. I mean, it was a good match to be sure, but this now puts both of them ending the league phase at 8-8, two more, just a 50% win rate.
Solid performance,
Yeah,
yes.
very solid, very solid. Yeah. And, yeah, AndreZot coming back from where he lost the last one, however, albeit being extremely close. But, yeah, last tournament, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think AndreZot was one of the newcomers in last year's league. He, as I recall, was the, was literally one shy of getting the one slot shy of getting into the league knockout phase that time, but this time, yeah, he's definitely gotten better since then. And Spencer, well, as always, solid play, but sometimes I've noticed that I have come to notice this with players that tend to only emerge during tournament time and don't really play all that many friendly matches. You rarely see. It is. I don't want to prioritize this solely to Spencer, as there are other examples that I could name, but people who only play this during the during tournaments, it is very easy for certain practices to fall out of practice, and that's, I think, is what holds some of the oldest veterans back, that they only tend to emerge at tournament time, while a lot of the newcomers are doing plenty of practice matches, this and that, and so on.
That's a fair point. Yeah, you gotta keep the tools sharp.
Yep. Okay.
Alright, viewers, thanks for joining us. I'm gonna
Yep.
hop off.
Sit.
Thanks for sticking around. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.
Yep.
Bye, buddy.
Yep. See you, Jairo. Thank you again. And I'll repeat his goodbye to the rest of you who chat. And those of you on YouTube, thank you for watching, and see you all next time. Bye bye.